Mr. Johnson, you argue that the source of this nerve agent, Novichok, is Russia. How did you manage to find it out so quickly?
But when I look at the evidence, I mean, the people from Porton Down, the laboratory.
So they have the samples.
They do, and they were absolutely categorical. And I asked the guy myself. I said, "Are you sure?" And he said, "There's no doubt." So.
We, in terms of our role, were able to identify it as Novichok, to identify that it was a military-grade nerve agent. We have not verified the precise source.
He claimed categorically, and I think he used the words 101%, that it had come from Russia. Porton Down have not said that. They've said that they've identified it as Novichok. They cannot identify the source of it.
I published on my blog a fortnight ago that sources within the Foreign and Commonwealth Office had told me that Porton Down scientists were unable to say it was made in Russia, and that they were under very heavy pressure from the government to say that, and they were refusing to say it. And today it's been confirmed that my sources were telling me the truth.
I'm as happy as anybody else to stand up for anybody's rights, including Navalny's. But let's be honest about him. He's a vicious, anti-immigrant racist on maybe 4% of the support.
Russian opposition politician Alexei Navalny survived an assassination attempt in the summer after being poisoned with the nerve agent Novichok. He, as well as most Western nations, have blamed the Russian security forces. With the help of the Bellingcat investigative website, who had identified some of the team which had been trailing Navalny, he called them up. He pretended to be a senior security official investigating the poisoning operation, and he got a full confession.
Nowadays, instead of having just the CIA going around behind the scenes and trying to manipulate the process secretly by inserting money here and instructions there and so forth, they have now a sidekick, which is this National Endowment for Democracy, NED.
One of the 10 most quoted sources in academia.
Take the focus on Russiagate. What's that all about?
I also thought that Russiagate was a total fraud and said so openly.
There is massive interference in U.S. elections from the U.S. corporate sector, who pretty much buy the elections.
Professor Novichok.
So I don't think cleats should go into the government. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's a good idea.
The most blatant coup in history.
I think Yats is the guy who's got the economic experience, the governing experience.
What are they doing? The highest-ranking State Department official, who presumably represents the Obama administration, and the American ambassador in Kiev are, to put it in blunt terms, plotting a coup d'etat against the elected president of Ukraine.
The most blatant coup in history, because it was advertised 2.5 weeks in advance on YouTube. And guess what? Yatsenyuk, a couple of days later, made prime minister. The U.S. recognizes the coup plotters, even though there are neo-Nazis in amongst them. It recognizes them immediately, and the first thing these guys say is, we're going to ban Russian as an official language in Ukraine, and we're going to join NATO.
Ukraine is right at the core of their geostrategic concerns. For Ukraine to be taken into NATO, which is what is repeatedly threatened, would be a very serious threat to Russian security.
To be fair, a lot of the countries in the region wanted to join NATO democratically.
It's not a matter of being fair. Suppose that the Mexicans wanted to join the Warsaw Pact. Yeah. How would the United States react?
What did the Russians do? The military and strategic advisors said, well, we have to make sure that they don't have their eyes on our only warm water, our only ice-free all-year naval base in Sevastopol in Crimea. And so we better figure out what to do about Crimea first. And then there are people in the eastern part of the Ukraine who are Russian stock, who are really leery of this neo-fascist regime. We may want to help them too.
Whatever one thinks about Crimea, there is a claim. Popular support, history, Khrushchev's handing over of Crimea to Ukraine without even asking the population, a referendum in 1991, which came out with about the same results as the recent one, the major Russian warm water port, naval base. I mean, there's considerations.
So Russia has been provoked?
Well, what happened? NATO instantly moved to East Germany. Then Clinton came along, expanded NATO right to the borders of Russia. Now there are the new Ukrainian government, the government after the overthrow of the preceding one, the parliament voted, I think 300 to 8 or something like that, to move to join NATO.
Which you can understand why they would want to join NATO. You can see why Petro Poroshenko's government would probably see that it's protecting his country.
No, it's not protect. Crimea was taken away after the overthrow of the government. The point is, this is a serious strategic threat to Russia, which any Russian leader would have to react to. That's well understood.